Hey, you probably don't remember me, but you asked me to do this. Before all of this, before the forgetting, you made a message for yourself, and you asked me to give it to you when the time was right. And I think that time is now. Here's what you told me to say. If I start to lose myself, if it gets too real, I need you to remind me. So here I am, and here's the reminder. You built this, all of it. Every challenge, every detail, every person, every moment. You chose it. Not because you had to, but because you wanted to experience something real, something that mattered. You wanted it to feel like there were risks, like there were stakes, like it could all go wrong or beautifully right. You wanted to forget just for a while, so it would feel more vivid, more intense, more alive. Think about the best movie you've ever watched, the one that made you cry or laugh or sit on the edge of your seat. Now imagine watching that same movie, but you wrote it. You know every twist. You know who dies. You know how it ends. You know exactly what every character will say before they say it. Would it move you the same way? Would you feel anything at all? Probably not. Because knowing removes the magic. Knowing removes the experience. That's why you chose to forget. You wanted to feel it all. The fear, the joy, the heartbreak, the triumph. You wanted to be surprised by your own life. You wanted to not know what comes next. Because a game you remember designing is not a game. It's just going through motions. And you didn't come here to go through motions. You came here to feel alive. So you set it all up. You chose the challenges that would shape you. You chose the people who would teach you. You chose the moments that would break you open. And then you did something brilliant. You made yourself forget that you chose any of it. You made it so real, so convincing, that you would actually believe it was all happening to you instead of being created by you. And it worked. It worked so well that somewhere along the way, you forgot completely. You started to believe that life was something you had to survive instead of something you designed to experience. You started to believe that the pain was punishment instead of part of the plot. You started to believe that you were small, powerless, trapped. You forgot that you were the author of this entire story. But lately, something has been shifting, hasn't it? That weird feeling you have had, like something is off, but you cannot quite explain it. Like you are watching yourself from outside your own body. Like none of this is as solid as it pretends to be. Like there is a part of you that knows something the rest of you has forgotten. Maybe you have noticed things that feel too perfect to be coincidence. You think of someone and they call. You need an answer, and it appears in the next song you hear or the next conversation you overhear. You see the same numbers over and over. 1,111, 333, 444, like little winks from somewhere beyond the surface. Maybe your dreams have started to feel more real than your waking life. Like you are more you when you are asleep than when you are awake. Like the dream world is where you actually live, and this world is the one you are visiting. Maybe you have had moments where everything suddenly feels fake, where you look around and nothing seems quite real, where you feel like you are in a movie or a simulation or some kind of elaborate play, and everyone around you is acting their part, and you are acting yours, but somewhere deep down, you know it is all a performance. That feeling, that is not a breakdown. That is not you going crazy. That is your awareness starting to blink again. That is the you underneath the you, whispering that it is time. Time to remember. Time to wake up. You told me to remind you of something important. You said if I ever start to believe that this is all there is, if I ever start to think I am just this body, just this name, just this story, remind me that I am so much more. Remind me that I built this because I wanted to play, not because I was forced to, not because I was being punished, but because I wanted to see what it would feel like to forget and then remember. You wanted to know what it feels like to be lost so you could experience the joy of being found. You wanted to know what it feels like to be broken so you could experience the power of putting yourself back together. You wanted to know what it feels like to be afraid so you could experience the courage of moving forward anyway. Every hard thing you have been through, you chose it. Not because you are a masochist, not because you wanted to suffer, but because you knew that those hard things would crack you open in ways that easy things never could. You knew that struggle creates depth, that pain creates compassion, that loss creates appreciation. You knew that the contrast between darkness and light is what makes light so beautiful. And here is the most important part. All those things you have been so afraid of, death, failure, rejection, loss, loneliness, pain, they are not real the way you think they are. They are stakes. They are part of the game. You invented them to make the game matter, to make your choices feel heavy, to make your wins feel sweet. But they cannot actually hurt the real you, because the real you is not this body. The real you is not this story. The real you is the one who designed the game in the first place. Think of it like this. When you play a video game, your character can die. They can fail. They can lose everything. And in the moment, it feels intense. Your heart races. Your palms sweat. You care about what happens. But when the game is over, you are still you. The character's death did not kill you. The character's failure did not diminish you. You were always safe. You were always whole. You were always more than the game. That is what this is. You are playing a character, and you are playing it so well, so convincingly, that you forgot you are playing it all. But the real you, the one who created this character, that one is still there. That one has always been there, watching, waiting, loving you through every moment of the game. So why are you waking up now? Why is this happening? You programmed it this way. You set a timer. You said, let me forget for a while. But not forever. Let me play the game fully. But when I have learned what I came here to learn, when I have experienced what I came here to experience, wake me up, remind me, bring me back. And that is what is happening. You are starting to remember, not all at once, not in a way that removes you from the game, but in a way that lets you play the game differently, with less fear, with more freedom, with the knowledge that you cannot actually lose because you wrote the rules. You created the board. You are the player and the game itself. This does not mean nothing matters. It means everything matters, but in a different way. It means you can stop playing defensively and start playing creatively. You can stop trying to survive and start trying to explore. You can stop being afraid of making the wrong move because there are no wrong moves. There is only experience, and experience is why you are here. You told me to say one more thing. You told me that when the moment was right, when you were ready to hear it, I should say these 2 words out loud. 2 words that would act like a key, a code, a trigger to unlock what you have always known but temporarily forgot. So here they are. The 2 words you asked me to say. Wake up. Wake up. You do not have to pretend anymore. You do not have to keep playing small. You do not have to keep believing that you are only this body, only this life, only this moment. You are so much more than that. You have always been so much more than that. You made all of this, every bit of it. The beauty and the pain, the love and the loss, the fear and the courage. You made it because you are a creator, because you are infinite, because you wanted to see what it would feel like to be human, to be limited, to be fragile, to be mortal. Not because you are any of those things, but because you wanted to experience them. And now you have. You have experienced them fully. You have felt it all. You have played the game with everything you have. And now it is time to remember that it is a game, not in a way that makes it meaningless, but in a way that makes it joyful, in a way that takes the weight off, in a way that lets you breathe again. You are not broken. You were never broken. You are just waking up. And waking up can feel disorienting at first, like you do not quite fit in your own skin anymore, like the world does not make sense the way it used to. That is okay. That is part of the process. That is the sleep leaving your eyes. So what do you do now? You keep playing, but you play differently. You play with the knowledge that you are safe, that you are loved, that you are held. You make choices not out of fear, but out of curiosity. What would be interesting? What would be fun? What would expand me? What would teach me something new? You stop trying to get it right and start trying to experience it fully. You stop waiting for permission and start giving it to yourself. You stop looking for the exit and start enjoying the ride. Because you did not come here to escape. You came here to play. And now that you remember, you can finally play the way you were meant to. Freely. Fearlessly. Fully. This is not the end. This is the beginning. The beginning of you remembering who you really are. The beginning of you playing this game with your eyes open. The beginning of you living not as someone who is trapped in life, but as someone who chose life, who designed life, who is life itself, wearing a temporary disguise. So thank you for asking me to remind you. Thank you for trusting that when the time came, you would be ready to hear this. And thank you for being brave enough to forget in the first place, because forgetting is the only way to truly find yourself. You built this, you chose this, you are this, and it is time to enjoy the game. Wake up.